Stacey and Jay Spoo, East Coast Radio.
Mother is Mothering. Beyonce takes us Hold'em on East Coast Radio, KZN's number one hit music station. The script in there with Rain. Stacey and Jay Spoo here with you until 6. And if you missed the show handover between Danny Gazzelli and Jay Spoo, then you don't know what we're talking about. But I think it's going to ruffle some feathers this afternoon.
We've already had a conversation about it. Yeah, people are not happy with the outcome of that conversation. Nicholas Tatham.
Ozo not
I'm with you,
jolling.
my brother. I'm with you.
Thank you.
But
Don't be
Solidarity.
Angry. Don't be angry.
But in the first hour today, and the reason why Nick and Jay have such strong opinions on this is this one's actually for the parents. And it's all of your quote-unquote unpopular opinions when it comes to parenting. What I mean by unpopular opinion is if you were to deign to say this in front of, like, let's say you're at the parent-teacher meeting, just in front of a bunch of, like, other parents. You know people are going to come for your throat. They're going to come for your neck. They're going to be flailing around, hands up in the air. How dare you? How could you? Research suggests that, but this is what you believe to be true. Maybe even so far as this is how you have parented your own kids. I also feel like, again, specifically, this is a good one for people who actually have children.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know how interested parents are in hearing the opinions of non-parents. And that is my unpopular parenting opinion.
But I mean, with this, right, you can be light, or you can pull a Danny Gazzelli on us on some. If your kid comes third or fourth, you're a loser.
He went in
hardcore. So whether you want to be light or you want to be like Danny Gazzelli about
and he's
it,
childless too. It's an unsolicited
audacity.
opinion.
Nick didn't even blink. Why are you looking at me like that?
So, KZN parents, chime in. What is your unpopular opinion when it comes to parenting? Let us know. 061-792-9495. But this conversation is also on the back of this, because this one also in the studio when we're playing it got a lot of people going, huh?
And actually, when Jay is saying maybe it's something light, maybe it's something more serious, this is an example of the lighter side of unpopular opinions. But you do you, boo-boo.
When my kids turn 18, I'm not kicking them out of my house. They can stay with me as long as they need to. Okay? 18 doesn't make you a grown-up. It makes you 18. And I will continue to parent my children until they are able to move forward in their lives without me. That doesn't mean that I won't be upholding any standards or teaching them how to be able to move on without me, but it does mean that my house is still their house until they decide they want to leave, or until they disrespect on a level that then requires them to no longer be able to stay. This mindset of kicking our kids out at 18 is ridiculous. I signed up as a parent for life. And that's how long they got me.
Stacey and Jay Spoo, East Coast Radio.
Unpopular advice from my side. The best advice would be is if a child falls and you run towards your child, obviously it depends on how hard the fall is. The concept of, you know what, get up, rub it off, you're fine, and carry on. That's my personal advice.
Stacey and Jay Spoo, East Coast Radio.
So this is how I test if Stacey Norman's been having a nice day. Stacey. It's happening, right? There you go. Black or White, Michael Jackson. Just before this one, gave you music coming through from Shakira, She-Wolf on East Coast Radio, KZN's number one hit music station. 26 after the hour of 3 o'clock. Welcome to it. It's Monday. The weekend was very busy, and the show, first hour today, is very busy as well. We're asking you very pertinent questions here, guys. As parents, what is your unpopular opinion? Also, I just want to say, right, like, if you're not a parent, you also have a say, and your voice is as valid. Because sometimes, in fact most times, it's people who are not parents who have a lot to say about parenting. So come forth. Hee Michael Jackson vibes.
I feel, it's like when you're in one of those fancy antique stores and you're a kid and your mother goes, don't touch anything, because if you break something, I'm going to have to pay for it. That's how I feel about watching other people raise children. I'm like, this seems like this is high risk behavior.
Don't get involved.
Because it's huge, right?
Yeah.
And obviously how people parent is going to differ from person to person. It has to do with how you were brought up. Are you breaking generational cycles? Are you changing things up? Then maybe you're married to baby daddy, baby mama. You now need to somehow combine your two schools of thought if you aren't instantly agreeable from the start. And it's something that evolves depending on the child's stage of life too. So whatever your particular quote-unquote unpopular opinion reparenting is, to let us know. And on the line from Peter Maritzburg, mom of 3, Yashti, how are you?
Hello.
Good, and yourself, guys?
We good, man. We like what you wrote down on the WhatsApp hotline. Can you just quickly repeat for KZN and elaborate as much as you can, please?
Okay, I have 3 kids. My youngest being 3 months, my eldest being 5, turning 6 on the 25th of June.
Damn.
My son's just turned 4.
Ooh.
So he was born actually a day before lockdown. He was born on the 25th of March 2020. So I've got a handful.
You experienced.
So very experienced, you can say that again. So my son has a tendency to throw tantrums when he doesn't get his way.
Mm-hmm.
So my way of dealing with it is looking at him and saying, are you done?
Ooh.
If you're not done, you carry on. Walk away, let him scream, cry, roll. As long as there's nothing around the walls with bricks or tables or whatever that he's going to get hurt, you let him throw his tantrum.
Mama
It's one of
Yasti.
those things.
Mama
Yeah,
Yasti.
and at the end of the day, it teaches them that you can't have your way every time you throw a tantrum, because it sets a precedent that, if I throw a tantrum, I'm going to get what I want. And that's not how I raise my children.
Okay, so Yash, now I'm going to ask you, as someone who is now outside of the house, now you're in the Woolworths, okay, and baby boy decides this is the time. I'm going to embarrass my mother in public today. No. The whole of Liberty Midlands Mall is going to hear me roar today. Are you doing the same thing in public as you're doing in the house?
Very much so.
There you go. Consistency
If you parent him inside the house and you parent him the same outside of the house, then they know, listen, if I'm going to behave like this in public, I'm not going to get my way. If I'm going to be like this at home, I'm not going to get my way. So,
Thank you.
Mommy said what she said.
It's how you raise your children. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, when they're teenagers, they're going to look at you and respect you at some point
100%.
for raising you the way they have. Because, in all honesty, I take my hat off to my mom. She's raised me in the correct manner, where I actually have once installed the same foundations in my kids.
Shout out.
So, in fact, my fiance and I, we have the 3-month-old and we have the same ideology.
Yes. Shout out,
so
man.
at the end of the day, it's one of those things. Parenting, there's no rule book. There's no tips like, you got to do this, you got to do that.
Yeah.
You just have to go with the flow. I mean, they're influenced by outside influences, other children out there. At the end of the day, you got to take it as it comes.
Well, shout out, man.
Thank you,
so
Mommy
much,
Yashti.
Yashti. Okay. There you
Thank
go.
you so much.
Some solid advice coming through from Yashti all the way from PMB. What are your thoughts? What is your sort of idea?
Because we kicked this thing off with a little sort of video, like a TikTok compilation of these 2 dads, and the dad was saying, I don't believe that when my child is 18, they need to get out the house.
Yes.
They're just 18. Maybe you are counter that. Maybe you're like, no. Once you've matriculated, toodles my noodles. So whatever your parenting, quote unquote, unpopular opinion is, Shawn Mendes, what the hell are we dying for? Going through it.
Sure. Felt that.
And he's like, what are you telling me that the new fiscal is just beginning? Please, I can't deal with it. Back to back with some Ed Sheeran, Eyes Closed. Maybe Ed Sheeran and Shawn Mendes, let's get together and have a conversation.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, just close your eyes, babe, buckle up, it's going to be fine.
And then answer the question, what the hell are we dying for? Like, they can literally sit together and come up with solutions for life.
You joke, but can you imagine
That actually would be
a duet?
Yeah, that
between
would
the two
be
of them?
palatable. I would actually look forward to that. Yeah.
Guys, if I could have dinner with one famous person, it would absolutely be Ed Sheeran. Don't you think he'd just be such a lach?
No.
Of all the famous people in the world.
No, well, I mean, I'd be having many dinners, obviously. I'm just saying, I think that after a couple of toodles, like imagine him and Adele at the same table.
He's not in my top 50.
You don't think he's funny?
That's weak.
Oh no,
That's weak.
don't think he's not funny.
Not
He's
Beyonce.
There's just so many more people out
No,
there.
I wouldn't be able to eat if I was sitting across
You
from
would
Beyonce.
faint, of course. Okay,
Yeah.
Shakira with the hips.
Nah.
How?
Excuse me.
Taylor Swift.
No. Taylor Swift would end up writing a #1 selling album about all my problems.
Yeah.
I'd not see a cent of it
you
because she's
get
too
no
clever.
royalties.
Exactly,
Song
zero
is about
royalties.
me.
And as for Shakira, I can't have competition in the hip area.
Yeah, okay.
That's my USP. That's what I'm sticking with. Stacey and Jay Spoo, none of these famous people even know who we are. Welcome to us between now and 6 o'clock tonight. In this hour, your unpopular parenting opinion. I'd like to turn to the parents in the room. Jay Spoo, Andy James, Nicholas Tatham. Do you have an unpopular parenting opinion?
So I built this one up. Nicholas Tatham, I know you got something solid in that pocket of yours when it comes to parenting. Like, come on.
Sure. Disclaimer. I think I'm a fairly good parent.
Okay.
All right.
Disclaimer. Just before we go any further.
I'm good at what I do.
I think it's more than okay if your child like wants to go and eat some sand, or like wants to like drink a bit of water that's a little bit dirty.
Yeah.
But obviously
It's okay.
in all reasonable.
Yeah, not too much sand.
So like we've got a bowl that sits below our garden tap.
Yeah.
And
The dog. the dog.
Soph is a fan.
and Sophie's a big fan.
Wow.
I might have to get her a straw at some stage, but
She's,
she enjoys it, and she enjoys eating molehills.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Again,
We don't
disclaimer,
stop her.
he is a
Well-
good parent. He does love his child.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, you know, Soph is going to Soph.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You can't watch her 24/7.
My one has to do with what Ashley from PNB was saying. Like, if your child is acting faulty, public or in a private environment, to entertain that is like, no. I give my son silent treatment all the time. He'll say something out of hand. Then when I keep quiet, he knows he's in trouble. Because that's how I handle it. Sometimes entertaining the nonsensical behavior is the issue. When you say, you shouldn't be doing this. No, just sometimes keep quiet and see. They'll learn. They'll know that they've done something wrong.
It's Jasper in a stare-off with his son.
Yeah, it's just
It's going
to get awkward.
The guy
Who's in a blink first, youth?
he had the audacity to ask me, what am I looking at the other day? I was like,
Ah.
And then I whipped out my stick there that I leave in the corner. And then we had one.
See? More parenting opinions.
Again, I love my son, guys. Like Nick, disclaimer, I do love my son and I think he's well taken care of.
So you're not saying that you're a good parent?
Hey.
Listen,
Hey.
the inference of great parenting, you know, you take what you want. It's kind of like a buffet here. Like you chow some stuff, you leave the rest. But KZN, in this hour, for the parents, what is your unpopular parenting opinion? This is your vibe. This is what you believe in. And if other people want to raise their eyebrows, that's on them. 061 792 9495.
The biggest mistake that parents can make nowadays is threatening kids and not carrying out the threaten. You know what I'm talking about? They're naughty. You do that again, I will. If you do it again, I will. And they never ever carry out that threat. The child will immediately lose all respect.
Hi guys, so my unpopular opinion is obviously you can't bully kids, but if somebody is picking on you or bullying you, you are allowed to retaliate. I've got a little girl and I always tell her, ladies don't start fights, but they do finish them.
My unpopular parenting advice would be that kids need to be with kids. You know, often, nowadays you hear kids, when adults are talking, the kids are around and they're exposed to so much. And even on social media, they're allowed to have, Instagram and TikTok and all these things, and there's no parental guidance on it.
Stacey and Jay Spoon, East Coast Radio.
What is their unpopular opinion when it comes to parenting? So many parents, non-parents, have had a lot to say. Some parents or non-parents have had to give disclaimers to remind us that they do love their children. And what they're about to say doesn't reflect that necessarily. But deep down, they know that they love their kids. And that is me and Nicholas Tatham. What we've said 5 minutes ago is not a reflection of how I feel about my son. I'd like to clarify that.
Oh, in case you missed it, KZN,
Wait.
Nicholas Tatham's daughter is allowed to eat
Anything.
Sand and drink muddy water.
Yeah, whatever she can find.
Yeah. He loves it.
Within reason.
Within reason.
Yes.
We don't know what that reason extends to, but
And Jay Spru's son is a receiver of silent treatment.
yes.
And when he answered back and sassed his father with, what are you looking
He
at?
got it. He got the thing.
Yeah.
I gave him the thing. I still love that boy.
Yeah. Very much.
Yeah. See, KZN, we can have honest conversations.
Did you ever tell him what you were looking at?
I had no time. I could not. I was,
I'm sure that somewhere.
I was so angry, bro.
On this WhatsApp line, someone has said, you don't need to explain.
Yes.
Explain everything
I parent
to the
the way
kids.
I parent, Baba. Leave me alone and you get to parent the way you parent. That's up to you, Baba. What I rule in that household is how I do things. And so nobody's going to tell me what I got to do, because this kid got to go outside and behave with other kids.
I
raise them to be nice people.
I merely said I feel like we should do this on the show today as the one person who doesn't have a child, because I was like, can't wait to see how this turns out. And boy, did it ever. Let's have a listen, shall we?
You are scandalized one. Okay, I see your tendency on a Monday. Hey.
Hi, Stacey and Jay Spoos. Most unpopular opinion on parenting for me would be just be kind to your kids and try explain why your no's mean no.
Hi, East Coast Radio. This is Izzy here, all the way from KZN. And this nonsense that we are handing out participation certificates. Gone are the days where you taught your kid that if they lost, you got to try better. You've got to work harder. You've got to put the effort in order to get the reward. Nowadays, everyone gets a reward.
Afternoon, guys. Well, when my kids are playing sports, I am like the Springbok coach. I am shouting from the sides. I am giving signals. I am giving calls. And most unfortunate thing when it comes to my kids, all of a sudden there are other Springbok coaches out there that are parenting and they're saying the same thing to their kids. It becomes very competitive, but at the end of the day, it's great fun and I love it, love it, love it.
Stacey and Jay Spoo, East Coast Radio.
Yep, there you go. The parents have spoken. We are not going to react to what we've just heard. I think it's fair to say that each parent shall parent in their own way.
Excuse me.
With all due respect.
Can we say that they're unpopular opinions?
No. Can I say that I would like a participation award at the office?
Yes, Stacey, we can get you one.
Yeah. Just for being here, just for rocking up during my allocated work hours, doing my job, just existing. I want a gold star too.
No. The gold stars are very expensive.
No, we can get you
a
certificate, I think.
Not the gold. I think you're asking for too much now.
Can't frame it.
Remember, you signed a contract.
I deserve it. I'm a special star.
Stacey and Jay Spoo. Weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. East Coast Radio.